Hello, hello! GameTurtle here. We're going to be I wanted to start a new playthrough of something. This is called Darkest Dungeon. It was released it was released fairly recently. It has been in beta for quite a while, and I've owned it since then. But the biggest part of it was that it was constantly updating and it was kickstarted, and it reached its goal by a whole lot. But it has recently been taken out of beta and it's fully released now, so I wanted to give it a try because I have played it a little bit and I haven't had a chance to sit down and play it a whole bunch. As you can see, I have a Week 11 campaign from a while back ago. So I'm going to go ahead and start this one. I'm going to call it Veil Walkers. It'll be fun.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Alright, so that was the opening thing. It's kind of an HP Lovecraftian type thing. It has, you know, the eldritch monsters and stuff. But I think it's considered a roguelike. It is pretty fun though. You have lots of randomization and classes that you can work with, but you have to deal with a stress mechanic as an addition to health and stuff like that, which makes it pretty challenging, especially for someone just coming into it. But I have a little bit of understanding of how it works, but not too much. So once it loads in, I've noticed that it has an unreasonably long load time for opening up the hamlet, but other than that, it's pretty smooth. So there we go. So this is where our carriage got off. Let's talk about map navigation. But you start off with two characters pre-made, Reynald and Dismas, the highwayman. I'll probably be naming all other characters that we get besides these two, so we'll see. So you can click the little mini-map down here, and I'll tell you which location you're heading towards.
Keep to the side path.
You can walk past with WASD, but you really only need forward and up to work with it.
May hear of your arrival.
So this first battle, you can go ahead and just pick our abilities. So you have like Grave Shot. Your positions matter, so since we only have two people, he's in the second position, so there's certain abilities he can't use. But Open Vein is what we'll start with because it has a chance to bleed, which is good. So now he gets to go. But you need to rearrange your party's positions and stuff. I know, like, so we have two people here, but normally you have a party of four, and that will decide how you want it to go. So you missed. So we'll just let the highwayman go again. Dismas. It is possible to lose at the beginning of the tutorial, and then I don't know if you lose both characters what happens, but I've lost the highwayman before when I've played. So you can check for valuables and get some stuff to start off with.
There is much
but the first mission is relatively easy. It just kind of gives you an understanding of how the mechanics work. You always fight that one highwayman, and then the bloodletter and the fusilier
is no longer welcome.
So we're gonna go ahead and Open Vein. Getting bleed off on him early on is really good, so that way we get some damage over time. so that pushed me back. He can still act from the back position, but I don't think Dismas can, so we might want to move him. But for now, I'm going to try and get a stunning blow on this guy. So now he's stunned for a round, which is good. Then I can go ahead and just open Vein again. And that the bleed stacks, so now he deals he takes 4 damage per round of his, which is good. Then I can just go ahead and smite. Then I'll probably move Dismas back next round after this stun is over, because we want to get rid of the Fusilier, I don't know. So yeah, so I'm gonna. How much health does he have? He only has 7, so I'm gonna actually go ahead and open Vein, so that way he will die on his turn now. Or actually, he might just die on this turn. Let's go ahead and smite him.
The bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
So then in this, they create corpses, which affects the position, because abilities can only affect certain positions. So like this one here can only affect the first 2, and since he's such a big guy, he is taking up those 2 spots. I'll go ahead and switch like 2 characters here, so we can start targeting the Fusilier in the back, and then I'll have Reynald here try and clear the corpse, which he did. And that moves the Fusilier up. Let's go for a stunning blow. He's only got 25% resistance, so I can stun him. Deal some damage. Oh man, that's unfortunate. He resisted the bleed too. He's very lucky. He has a 25% chance to resist stun and only 20% chance to resist bleed, so it's pretty impressive that he resisted both of them.
As the enemy crumbles.
Then we got some supplies. We got an extra torch, some crests, and gold, which we can use. Normally you can hit yes to complete the quest, but since we see a chest right here, we want to go ahead and open it and get whatever we can out of it. Okay, it's trapped, so that's unfortunate. But since the quest is done anyways, we can just leave and not have to worry about the blight. And then this is where it gives us a rundown of everything we got. 640 gold, plus the 5,000 from the quest reward, and then quite a few heirlooms, which is nice. After every mission, you'll get resolve experience, which is the level of your character, and sometimes you might get a little quirk. So he got a bad quirk, which is Hieromania, which experiences religious visions and delusions. But he also got a positive quirk, which is Warren's Tactician, and gets 15% damage in the Warrens, and then Dismas made it out without any problems. So you have negative quirks and you have positive quirks, and they affect your character differently. Reynald, I believe, starts off with Kleptomania, so he has a chance to steal items during your mission.
Such as it is.
So this is an introduction to the Hamlet. Stagecoach is where you recruit people.
Yours now.
There's always going to be
You are bound to
a plague doctor and a healer here.
Soldiers and outlaws.
And
fools.
Ancestors' memoirs. This is basically telling you what you've done. You can go back and watch the videos and stuff.
Clear.
Then we have the graveyard, which is where you can go visit
know the tragic extent
the heroes that died. I feel bad
failings.
for talking over the narrator, but
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
I'll let him talk from now on. Then we have the tavern, sanitarium, abbey, guild, and blacksmith, and the nomad wagon, and the little campsite up here. All these are unlocked later. You have to get through a mission first before you can unlock them, and they do different things, but I'll explain that as we go along. So we can go on our first mission. Let's go ahead and give some names of our friends here. So we'll go ahead and give the plague doctor, let's call him Connects Kid. I'm gonna name him after all our friends here because they're our friends. And then this lady kind of looks like my girlfriend, so we're gonna name her. And then I'm gonna leave Reynald and Dismas as they are for now, because I know they start off their starting characters, and these two are at least a little bit random. You always get a plague doctor and a Vestal, but they're they're not as
A mecca
set in
of
stone as Rain
madness
All and
and
Dismas.
morbidity.
So we'll go ahead.
Your work begins.
We have a bunch of different locations, but we can only go to the ruins right now for our starting mission. And we can set up our roster. And you want to pick out positions that they are comfortable in. So if you go here, this is called the usual suspects. But if you go here, they'll have a preferred position spot. So this one says she prefers position 3. She has a judgment, which is ability position 3 and 4. This one is 3 and 4. This one is 1, 2, and 3. This one is 1 and 2. So she can't use Hand of Light unless if I push her up, but then she loses her other abilities. So let's go ahead and pop her into position 3 so that way we can make sure that she gets what she needs. Yeah, because Connect's hits positions are going to be 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, he's fine in the 4th position. He can use all of his abilities there. As for Dismas or Highwayman, 1, 2, 3, yeah, which we already knew that he can use all his abilities from position 2, so we'll just go ahead and leave him there. And then Reynald's our tank, and he can use all of his abilities in position 1 or 2, but we want him in the front, so we'll go ahead and do that. Our first mission is in the ruins. We have to explore 90% of the rooms, so we have to go, after you start that, you have to position yourself and get
measured now in gold.
Oh wait, before I leave, actually, I want to
in blood.
I'm going to upgrade the stagecoach before we leave, so that way when we come back we have more people available. And this is where our busts, our portraits, deeds, and crests come into play. Use these to upgrade all the stuff in town. And so I upgraded the stagecoach network, which gives us an additional hero. We see 3 heroes that come to it now, and we can have more people in our roster. So we'll go here. Before you start a mission, you have to get provisions. So you want to have torches. I usually take about 6 to 8 to start off with, and then food we can go 8. I try to go 8 at least, because you want to have 2 for each person. Bring a skeleton key, a shovel, and that should be good. So you have to ration out your money because you're going to spend money to go on the mission. And then when you come back, you don't get as much money if you have stuff left over. So you want to have missions that give lots of money or rewards. And that's why you're you're incentivized to go and explore areas so you can find more treasure. Okay, let's go ahead and go. The hero panel, let's just talk about the hero. So now we have to explore 90% of the rooms, so we can skip 1 room even though there's not a full 10 rooms, and we'll probably just skip this one. We'll go up, over, down. So let's go ahead and march. You have to watch out for the torch. So if you have high amounts of light, you get bonus to scouting and a chance to surprise monsters, but you don't get as much loot. And as it gets darker, the monsters get stronger. They have a higher chance to dodge, but you get a significant amount of loot. I like to keep it at radiant light because I like the surprise chance and the scouting chance. I mean, once we start getting further in, the higher loot will be much better. So let's see, we want Noxious Blast, that gives blight, so let's go ahead and do that and try and blight him. He's blighted. He takes 4 damage for the next 3 rounds per round of his. Undead are immune to bleed, or they're 200% resistance to bleed, so I don't think there's a possibility of getting him bled. So we'll go ahead and do a Grape Shot, which hits a good chunk. So that guy's gonna die on his turn, which is great. We can cast Judgment, which kills him and heals her.
Destroy them all.
And okay, so this mission's done because
their formation is broken.
We did plenty of damage. We got 1,025 gold out of it. So compartments like these, a strong box, it's unlocked, but if I put a key in here, it might have a hidden compartment. Item has no effect, so I lost my skeleton key, unfortunately. I don't get anything out of it except what's already in there. But I did gain a shovel, a torch, and some medicine, so Not too bad. Not money though. So that was our chance to scout, which allowed us to see up ahead we have an obstacle, which we'll need to shovel for, and then a battle, so we can prepare for the battle a little bit. Come up here,
Even
use
the
the shovel.
cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Here's our battle. The light went down a little bit. We get an additional amount to stress, but the monsters can still be surprised and we can still scout. So let me talk about stress a little bit, since the cultist acolyte's here. What she does is, let's see, can I do that? Yeah, let's go ahead and try and blight her. What she does is she casts stress-like abilities, and the more stress you have, the worse off you are. If you hit 100 stress, your resolve is tested, and that can be good or bad, but it's most of the time has been bad for when I've played. So stressful incantation. So that gave me 20 stress, which L-Cyanide's at 37 now, but we'll go ahead and try to get anything that gives stress out of the way, because stress is it hurts, and it hurts quickly. It just builds up very fast. So let's try for the plague grenade again. Try and get the blight. Man, she's good. She only has a 20% chance to resist blight. She's done it twice in a row. Okay, so she affected our position, which is not good. We're gonna go ahead and... oh, I can't take him out, so we'll have to shoot her. She's dodging. She's got a lot of good abilities. With her out of position now, she can only use Illumination or Hand of Light. So we'll go ahead and use Hand of Light on this guy.
As the fiend falls,
and we'll try and rearrange
hope blossoms.
After the battle. Zealous accusation to clear the corpse. Then hopefully the pistol shot hits, and it kills. Alright,
the enemy's
good. And so sometimes when you get a kill or a critical strike, it relieves stress, makes it feel like the battle's not as bad. And then we're back in order, so we can head on through. No scouting. Let's go ahead and pop a torch, and we'll head up to the top room. Oh, whoops. That was my mistake. So our light's gotten dimmer. We can still surprise, but we have more stress. I'm just going to pop the torch and keep the radiant light going for now. So here's a bag. Let's go ahead and have Raynal do it. Ooh, we got a skeleton key back, so if we find another chest or something, we can try using that again. Get our torch back up. It's too late now, so we'll go ahead and just let it go. I'm gonna try and blight her. Oh, whoops. Did I click I must have clicked the wrong ability. That's my fault, but that's okay. We can go ahead and get the bleed on this guy, since he's human. And her stun's gone, so that's good, because that saves us some pain later. And I'm gonna try and take out this guy if we can, or at least get him close. Okay, so that kills him. When they die of bleed, they don't leave a corpse behind, which means that everyone moves up in their position, which is much better than what we normally have to deal with. Let's go ahead and just Zealous Accusation. So she's also able to be afflicted by bleed, so we'll try and get her getting bled, and then we'll Noxious Blast for an additional blight if we can, which will kill her. But she resisted the blight despite only having 20% blight resistance. Let's see, the Judgment can do 3 to 7 damage, so it could kill him, but it's less likely. This one, it's more likely, so let's try it. And then we got the kill. So now all we have to do is worry about the Bone Soldier, which should be quick and easy to take out. There we go. Raynal has it. Got that, and we got a treasure chest that we'll try and open. I'll try a skeleton key again, which gave us a hidden compartment, so we got some additional stuff out of it. We got our scouting chance. So this has a curio, but it also has a room battle. I'm just going to go ahead and skip it because there's not a guarantee for treasure. It just has something in there that might work, like this trap here. So we have 60 chance to disarm, 90 chance to disarm, 50, 60. So let's have Dismas do it. We gotta get closer. Thank you. And it was disarmed, so we're good. Release some stress. Let's go through here. The torch, yep. So I'm letting the light get a little lower, and which increases our stress. Monster's accuracy and damage. Here's a surprise, but we get bonus loot, and it raises our crit chance. So I'm just kind of experimenting to see how I like it, because we can try and get some loot early on. But so that was the kleptomania, and he's decided he's going to keep what he found in here, which is unfortunate, because that was some gold and onyx, which could have been useful later, but can't do anything about it. Alright, so after being on a mission for a set amount of time, you grow hungry and you need food. If you don't do it, they take 20% damage and stress damage. So that's why you want to have food around, which heals a little bit, and it makes it where they don't get stressed out. So we're at dark, and we're going to keep going. I'm going to take on this last battle room and try and get some decent treasure out of it, because everyone's pretty low on stress. L-Cyanide has the highest at 31, which isn't too bad, and we're all pretty high health too. So we might as well take our gamble on it and get higher loot and higher crit. So this is black as pitch. This is the highest it can be.
Black as death.
And we'll see how that works out. Worst case scenario, I can pop torches in combat, I believe. So, and this is just the first mission, so there should be a whole lot to worry about. But if we are surprised, which we weren't, which is good, if we're surprised, it rearranges us, which would have been a huge problem, but luckily that was not the case. So we'll go ahead and start off with the grape shot to get some damage. The courtier is my top priority. He does stress damage, which I do not want to deal with. So let's go ahead and get a plague grenade on the two ranged characters and see if we can apply them. Alright. So that was a lot of damage, which I'm not surprised by. It's pitch black. That was a lot of stress damage too, but like I said, we are aware of this. That's what we went into this battle knowing this information. So let's go ahead. He's gonna die from that, so let's try and get that guy critical hit. That's great, and it relieves stress on the back too. Let's see. I'm gonna try and stun him. He's got a 25% stun chance, or stun resistance, so let's see if it gets through. And it did. So that's a turn gone for him. He dies from the blight. Let's go ahead and try Noxious Blast to blight him. And then we can do this to try and bring him low enough to die from the blight, which he will when it's his turn. And then let's see. That'll deal 4 to 7 damage, or we can pistol, which will deal. Oh, I can't do it to the front line, so yeah, we'll go ahead and just do this to get some damage on him. He can't bleed though.
Slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
5 damage isn't too bad. We'll go ahead and just smite now because it's a bonus to Unholy, and it has a chance to kill him. We were 1 away. So whoever's up next probably has it. Okay, we'll go ahead and just open vein. Dismas gets the kill. So we got quite a bit of gold and a bust, which is nice. And we're gonna continue adventuring so we can open this chest, which gave us another 1,000 gold and another 4 busts, which is great. And then we'll go ahead and complete the quest. You can see the layout of what we got. So all we got were busts out of that, which is not bad. Everyone got some experience. Well, L-Cyanide got a quirk. Eldritch Slayer, so she gets plus 10 accuracy versus Eldritch and plus 3 critical versus plus 3% critical against Eldritch, which is good. Not good right now. There's not a whole lot of Eldritch you run into. I think that's definitely in the darkest dungeon, but I think you find that.
There is a great horror beneath the manor.
This is talking about you
crawling
can remove
chaos that
quirks
must
become
be
severe
destroyed.
over time, which means they're harder to cure. So his kleptomania is severe now, which means it costs like more gold to remove it from the sanitarium, which you can do when the sanitarium becomes unlocked. Dismas is fine. Connect's kid is severe anemic now, which is unfortunate. And L-Cyanide doesn't have anything bad going on. So let's check out our stagecoach. Ooh, we got Hellion,
Barbaric
Leper,
rage and unrelenting
and a
savagery
bounty
make
hunter,
for a
so
powerful
that's
ally.
great. Alright, and our tavern's open now.
Fresh kegs,
So
cards,
when
and
stress
curtained
gets too much,
rooms
we can throw
promise
people
solace
into
to
the
weary
tavern
and broken
or
alike.
the abbey up here.
The cobwebs have been
I'll let the guy
dusted, the pews set straight. The abbey calls to the faithful.
So there are 6 slots to use to relieve stress, but the caretaker takes up 1 sometimes. So the only person that really needs it are Dismas and L-Cyanide, but they're only at 20, so it's not too severe. But we'll go ahead and just throw them in, so that way they can get started. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the cost of the cloister. Put L-Cyanide in.
A tonic against the bloodshed.
Or I increase the stress release from the cloister, sorry, not reduce the cost. We're going to go to tavern, increase stress recovery, and put Dismas in the bar. Connect's kid's fine, so we don't need to worry about him. Let's see. Yeah, confirm. And actually, we'll just go ahead and we'll position to these guys like 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2. So I need a 4th positioner. So I'm going to take Connect's kid on the next mission. Reynald doesn't have any stress, but he doesn't need to go with us. And yeah, so that's it. That's the first episode of GameTurtle Plays the Darkest Dungeon. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to be releasing some more episodes. I've been really wanting to play this game, and I thought I would just share with you as we go through, and I'm going to name our friends here, and it'll be a fun adventure with our friends. So thanks you guys again, and see you next time.